each and everybody, and welcome to another Smoke and Mirrors. Of course, it's a special episode because it's always special when you're here. And now, here's a song. I'm starting with that man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. No message could have been technically right. And now here they are, your invenerable host, Carlos Kareem Wyndham. Just looking for my lighter. Hey everybody, hope you are doing well as you're here with us today. Thank you for being here. Another Smoke and Mirrors. Hope that you have yourself a warm bevy. The temperature is dropping. Dateline, Portland, Oregon. It's dark out. It's 4:20 in the afternoon, and it's dark out. Hey, good to be here with you. Thank you for being here with us. And we'll get into the show straight away because why waste any time? If this is the first time that you're here, well, we're just letting you know this is maybe a thing that you like and a thing that other people like too. And maybe you want to like it like on a regular basis. You can support it. And you can do that fiscally if you would like to by going to any of the fiscal support places, which would include Venmo at Carlos-Wyndham, Cash App at $CK Wyndham, PayPal /me.CK Wyndham, and or just go ahead and if you're on the YouTube or Facebook, like and subscribe. And of course, if you really want to get down with us and continue to support the nonsense that we make, we'd love that. And you could do that by joining the Patreon at Smoke and Mirrors CCB. That is for comedy. That is for culture. That is for blackness. It's Patreon at Smoke and Mirrors CCB. You see it there in your chats. Producer Tracy is back again today. Good to see you, Tracy. Joshua is back. I am back. You are back. Hey, let's get into some show situation, if we would. One thing I do right off the top want to let you know, like everyone else in the world, I am exhausted. It has been a hell of last 5 years, including this first year of the Biden administration, including the fact that it has been a year since I was here with Gabriel Teodros, and we were Gabriel Teodros. God, I said this on the show too. I started doing that because Rashidi started doing that when we were in Company of Prophets and we first met Gabe. Anyway, it's been a year since Gabe was here, and we were talking about the WTO protests and uprising, and that means it's been about 2 years going on since we've been doing this, and that's a longer contract again than we thought we were starting with initially. So we will be here once a week on Tuesdays still for the rest of this year, and we will see what next year brings. We're going to try and figure out coming back at least once, maybe twice a week again, and we'll come back with interviews again in 2022. And we will take a 2-week winter break come winter break time, which is in another 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks? I don't know, a couple weeks. So we're here today. Let's do what we are here to do today. We're going to do a music corner. Hey, music time, music time. You may see the music notes on my shirt And if you're a music aficionado, may know for yourself what is true today and what we must recognize if you grew up in this country, anywhere during the decade that I did, that today is the anniversary of the release of Michael Jackson's Thriller. It is an album. One of the best-selling albums of all time. It was number one for, it seemed like it was going to be forever, and was finally beat out by Saturday Night Fever, which was then beat out by something else. I have no idea. One of the best-selling records of all time. You go back now and you listen to it, and I saw Amir Questlove post this morning that, man, think about a record just not aging at all. And what it would have been like in 1982 when this came out, to think back 25 years to like 1947, and would you be listening to the music from then? And some of it, yeah, and some of this record, if you are only going off of song and song construction, holds up very well. I think the song "Human Nature" is a great song. A brilliant song. There's also the feature he did with Paul McCartney, Say, 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 and it's not a good song. It's not a good song at all. But we want to celebrate and recognize the Pandora's box that was opened by Michael Jackson on this anniversary, the only anniversary on which it would be appropriate for me to wear the shirt of a globally recognized groomer from the Beat It video, and because I grew up on it too. And some of what we're going to get into today may have been, I want to take some responsibility as well. Hey, this is Wade. You may remember Wade is a choreographer who learned from Michael Jackson. And he is a very famous choreographer. He has choreographed for the likes of NSYNC. He has choreographed for the Backstreet Boys, for Britney Spears, for the Christina Aguilera. If there's somebody who for Chris Brown, who did sort of a Michael Jackson-y dance in the 90s and the aughts, or now, Wade may have had something to do with that. Wade is also a victim of abuse from Michael Jackson, and Oh, he did I mention that he was the choreographer of NSYNC, seen here in their most natural form in Stasis, and this was back in the days when Justin Timberlake still had a perm. Remember that? That was a choice. They of course went on to release the No Strings album, It's Gonna Be Me, which was sort of the first time also that Justin Timberlake was being put forward more as the frontman. He had gotten enough chin hair to do such, and was becoming one of the more prominent voices, though the most prominent voice was still what is his name? Is that JC Chazes? Is that Lance? Who is he? The I don't know, the Jermaine. Yeah, with the Jermaine. There was a Jermaine in the group, and Justin was moving into the Michael spot, and it was a time in history and in music, and a lot of people really like it, and they came from a place, right? Again, tying back directly to the Jackson family, a lot of people may not remember that the Dirty Pop song and album made its national tour with Janet Jackson, right alongside Janet Jackson. She saw in this group, she saw something familiar, and she saw that, hey, these kids may be able to learn the professionalism and emulate what I learned from my brothers, the Jackson Five, from whom the aforementioned Michael Jackson was birthed. And I can instruct them in the ways of pop discipline, pop music moving forward. Especially since they named the song Dirty Pop, because, of course, my brother Michael Jackson was the king of pop. So that would be a good, let's do that. They were following a formula, you see, the formula that was set before. Five kids. And let's have them get out there. We're going to have 2 who can really sing, 3 who can be in the background someplace. And there's a particular mode and model to it that was replicated again and again and again and again to different levels of success over time, right? The first time that the Jackson model needed to be reproduced, was reproduced for profit, was with the Osmonds, who, as a Mormon family in the 1960s and 70s, saw the success being had by the Jacksons, a family from the Midwest of Gary, Indiana, and thought to themselves, ooh, let's get some of that money too. And so they went in and replicated the model. They replicated it. And they had a little one in the front who could be a Michael. They had an older one who was sort of a heartthrob who could be a Jermaine. And then 3 kind of useless ones in the middle. And they came out with a hit called Puppy Love. It was a huge, huge hit. It was a huge hit. You know, the Jacksons did so much more, Jessica, than only teaching the alphabet. They taught white boys how to dance, or commit some proximity of dance anyway. Listen, I'll say this about that. Donny Osmond went on to become one of the foremost and prominent voices in your head, whether you know it or not, as he was not only somebody who's released more than one secret #1 hit by not putting his name on it, he also was the singing voice of Aladdin. That's right. In the famous Disney movie, Robin Williams' Genie is the star of the Aladdin. That Aladdin. He was the singing voice, not the voice, but the singing voice of Aladdin. Donny Osmond did that. Son of a gun. Anyway, they made a lot of money, and that was not lost on anybody, right? So they went out there and they did their little Osmond thing. Years later, a producer named Maurice Starr thought, hey, I got these guys from Boston. I'm going to do the same thing again. We're going to call this New Edition. And as they continued aging up, they added themselves at Johnny Gill. There were eventually 6 of them, but they did begin as 5. That success was dislodged by the drug problems of one Bobby Brown, and also the success of the hanging toughers, who were really starting to reveal what the formula was, as they had a Jordan in the front, very clearly meant to be your Jermaine. You had a Joey, who was going to be your future Michael. Of course, you had to have a bad boy in the band. You needed a motorcycle kid in your moped band, and 2 useless ones, one of whom can be kind of a fuggo a little bit, and that'd be just fine. Boys from Boston, showing us what Boston does, because the black kids are not going to get all the money. But guess what? We had a secret in our back pockets. Boys to Men, ABC, BVD, burp. And so Cooley High Harmony came out. The group Boys to Men produced BVD, produced a bunch of other groups out of it, and went on to, the group New Edition broke up, produced all of those other groups, then gave us Boys to Men, who came with the a cappella stylings of the late 90s, for which, late 80s, I'm sorry, thing for which they have yet to apologize. This is a formula that was carried across the globe. Hey, One Direction's doing it. You know, Harry Styles, the one that everyone's saying is the inventor of queer boys, I guess. I don't know. And, you know, lest we forget that while that is happening across the band, you got yourself some manujos. So your Boys to Men, they really had the formula down in terms of understanding, hey, we're going to age, and as we age, we're going to need to still be able to turn into men's. Menudo has the formula down in that once you reach an age, they will just kick you the fuck out of the band. The funny thing is that all of this is called boy band music. It's even gotten over to Korea. K-pop is one of the number one kinds of music across the globe, once again emulating the Jackson 5. All of it goes back to the Jackson 5. Why? Well, because it worked. So let's take that formula, the sanitized formula of a very sophisticated men's group. Let's age it down, right? Berry Gordy, who was a pimp, figured out how to do that, along with Joe Jackson, who was a pimp. And they got these boys, through abuse and a lot of practice, to become the most famous boys on the whole planet for a very long time. A formula that was replicated again, and again. You see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? Chantrell, hi! I saw you over there asking how I'm doing. I'm doing, as I was saying in the beginning of the show today, shitty. As our most somatic empaths I know today. There's, you know, Uranus is doing things. Pluto returns is happening all over the planet and all over this country in specific. And today it took a chunk out of the soul. But doing okay. Good to see you. Back to the boys, huh? The Jackson 5. This is what is meant. Whenever you hear there's a new boy band. What they mean is there is an international version, a white version, a Korean version, a Mexican version, a European version, a Bostonian version, a Mormon version of the Jackson 5, doing a modern take on those harmonies and that music. So that's congratulations again. The thing about it is that all the boy bands do age, and that eventually, in the best case scenario, you will just end up in the used bin. Or, worse yet, you end up an adult in your boy band looking like a predator or something who was dressed up as soldiers in the Sesame Street army to... Did anybody see the Victory Tour? Does anybody remember this? It opened with there being a spacecraft that landed on stage, and then like a big weird Muppet monster thing kind of was like crawling around, and then the Jacksons got out of the spaceship in space outfits with these giant swords, phallic symbols, and stabbed the Muppet creature mans, and that was the beginning of the last Jackson's tour. Who would have guessed that would have led to child abuse or that he was grooming anybody? Who could have seen it? Certainly not me. I did. Who has a hot bevy? Me. Boy, oh boy. Unpopular opinion. Not touching little boys is bad. I don't know. Is that unpopular? Joshua, is that unpopular? But so many bands have it. But you know, each one of those other bands has had different issues No, 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 no. All of them were child molestation. No, many of them had to do with drugs or being stuck in stasis or right. Yeah. Congratulations to anybody else who grew up on Thriller. I meant is what we were talking about. Hey, there's another choice though too. If you're gonna be in a boy band, eventually you grow up and you just come out and be who you are. Because let's be real, boy bands aren't for little girls. I mean, little girls obviously are the ones who drive whether or not it's going to be popular enough for it to become a popular boy band, such that adult men can discover the boy band, such that that boy band can then become a universally loved phenomenon like Menudo. And not everyone is going to graduate from that with success and grace. But Ricky Martin, I mean, listen, I don't even fuck with penis, but let me tell you something right now. Who's not going to fuck him? Get out of my face. You're going to fuck him. I'm going to fuck. We're all going to fuck. Look at him. Look at him. There's another choice. That's all I'm saying. There's another choice. You know, or you do the version of pop music where it is forever cast in amber. And then you're just replicating what you had done before, to a degree that it would be universally known that if you were pitching an arm out like, ooh, ooh, that Shamona. There's no question the origins thereof. Do you know what I mean? And that people would then do it themselves on stage again and again, as did Justin Timberlake, again, who went on tour with Janet Jackson and is seen here with the King of Pop. So the King of Dirty Pop and the King of Pop on stage together. But if you think that's the saddest thing that can happen, you're still wrong, because eventually what could happen is you could be making this your most famous Jackson moment, when it could have been this. It should have been this. This should have been it. This should have been the most famous thing, the thing you are most known for when you were on stage with the Jackson. You were there. You were there doing it, and but this is. It's bad. It's really bad. All right. So, how did that moment come to be? Why were we subjected to Justin Timberlake ripping the clothes off of Janet Jackson at the Super Bowl? And how then did he rocket to become one of the best-selling male artists of all time, while concurrently Janet Jackson's career disappeared? Well, I guess. All right. Yeah. Okay. Joshua says yes. Let's get into it. Justin Timberlake. Every band of the boy band ilk that we described earlier has its own Michael Jackson, and NSYNC had theirs. As said earlier, they had toured with Janet Jackson. They took a lot from that experience in terms of the discipline that is necessary, the professionalism that is necessary, and in fact, maybe some of the harmonies that are necessary, and musical stylings that are necessary if you are going to have a multi-decade career. Here, If I was your girlfriend, if I was your girl, all the things I do to you, but I'm not. Got re-recorded by NSYNC and Justin Timberlake for the MTV Music Awards one year. It was meant to be sort of a sale point that would move things forward as Justin was getting even more grown up, shaving his head, showing where his widow peak is, and losing the affected perm. Don't know what that was about. But this did happen. Justin Timberlake, though, if you're following the formula, and Jessica did see what you saw, what you said, and you're correct, following the formulaic arts is always going to be a problem for young folks. It continued to be for Mr. Timberlake, and want to say that as well, because while they did do this performance, and yes, Chantrell, some folks could say it was grotesque. It would be a fair assessment, unless you like white chocolate, in which case it could be you could have quite enjoyed this very much. I myself would argue with you and say simply this: white chocolate is not chocolate. It is simply oil with sugar, and without cacao, it's not chocolate. She was bringing the cacao and the papao, and that did not go unnoticed by Justin, who also knew the patterns of the family by now. So simply using the sisters' pattern was not going to be enough, because he knew that he was the Michael Jackson of the NSYNC. For that to work, that meant he had to be out of sync with them. Yes, he had to have a solo project, and he was now a young man, so it was now time for him to do the Young Man Project. And so he released Off the Wall by Michael Jackson, first recorded in 1978 with jazz producer and giant in the field, Quincy Jones. What he did is he followed the exact same arc of that album, made a dance album using the same harmonies that Michael Jackson used, and moving it out of disco, moved it into hip-hop, doing the same thing that Michael Jackson had done by aligning himself with the top producer in the field at the time. That was Timbaland, and that's how we got Justified. Come the way. I think I just had a seizure. Yeah. And both songs had this vengeance song. Both albums, I apologize, had this vengeance song on it about a man who was sleeping with a woman and was going to tell the boyfriend or make it a public scenario. In Michael Jackson's Off the Wall, it was a very sweet, if slightly sociopathic fuckboy song called Girlfriend, in which he said, "Girlfriend, I'm going to tell your boyfriend, tell him exactly what we're doing." Justin Timberlake released a song that was of the same ilk. It was called Crimea River. And that's when it was his girlfriend's song, Crimea River. And he, in that video for that song, hired a model to body double Britney Spears. And he portrayed himself as a stalker who had maybe broken into her house and was gonna I don't know what exactly he was going to do, but what he did do is he filmed himself with another woman, showed it to her, theoretically based on the idea that she cheated on him. But did she, though? I don't know. It made for great mythology and huge record sales. The more controversy, the more record sales. And so when the controversy came up, the obvious thing to do for Mr. Timberlake would be to say, hey, this is actually fictionalized. My producers and my team said that I needed to do the thing with the body double. This is not real. What Mr. Timberlake did is said, Yeah, this is real. And exacerbating sales. Uh, remember how we talked about Britney Spears and her being emancipated now a couple of weeks ago? Free Britney. I'm a slave. Okay, so they used to, when they were kids, they used to date. And this is when he still had a perm. This is when he had a perm. And when they were dating, a lot of people kept asking them because they were Disney. And Disney, if you've been paying attention to the Marvel Disney world, does not like too much blood and very little sex in anything that it does, especially if it's being sold to kids, as their music was, because that's who pop music is for. Again, you sell it to kids, but if it has sort of a mannish adult theme, then adults can like it too, and then pedophiles will buy it, and then you will fill the stadium with boys who like boy bands. They've got the money. So he was asked several times about whether or not they had some sexos, and he denied it sometimes, and then sometimes he didn't, and it was creating some problems for her. One of the things that was most gross, though, and that was most problematic, is that there was a point where whilst they were in the magical, mythical virgin tour, because we all know the young virgins spend time together at omelet parties and stuff. These kids aren't fucking, right? Romeo and Juliet. They were never fucking. They were fucking. Young Timberlake ran into, he liked to do this, evidently, his tour bus, and run up to his bodyguard and put his hand under his nose and say, "Smell my finger." And then would say, "Oh, that's what I fucked last night," and it was said to be this child, Britney Spears, who was a child, also at the time. Gross. So anyway, he had a song out, he had a video out, and it was time to celebrate the thing that we celebrate the most. Football. Gotta celebrate football. And so there was going to be a halftime show, and MTV was going to do it. And there had been all kinds of licensing and clearing and making sure everything was going to be cool. Because again, we don't like too much of the sex or the blood in our Americana. Just the right amount of suggested sex and athlete blood. So we're going to celebrate. They have a huge contract, the NFL does, with the armed forces, which is why you get to keep hearing about why you should join one of them. And maybe you've heard one or two sexual references to the sport. It's a touchdown. Oh, gross. So one of the things they love is flags. They love the patriotism, right? And they've got to protect that because that's where their big money comes from, right? And so they've been doing this for a while, and they do weird things with the flag. Like, there's the thing about the flag that you're supposed to, according to the Constitution, if the flag ever touches the ground, and or if it is ever made into any shape other than the flag, that it would be an act of treason, theoretically, and that the people doing it could be shot, but at very least you should burn that flag. I don't know. The NFL, anyway, they put a flag that look at that. How patriotic is that? A flag that looks like the country? Come on. And if you think that's something, if that's not quite patriotic enough for you, how about a flag the size of the football field for your football game? That's necessary. It's a deep, deep relationship. It's kind of a relationship with the flag, and it's a kind of relationship with the armed forces that you wouldn't anticipate too many entertainment conglomerates having, but most of them do, including Marvel, who again is owned by Disney. I mean, but no, the NFL loves flags. They love flags. They love flags. They love flags. They love flags more than this flag fucker. They love flags so much that they would fuck a flag like this flag fucker would fuck a fag if he could fuck a flag. I hope I didn't say what I think I just said because I got stuck on my tongue twister. And if I did, then just know that I was only referring to either myself or a cigarette from Europe. Hey! Oops. Hey, Joshua, let's edit that out, okay? The whole how many flags would a flag fucker fuck if a flag fucker could fuck a flag? Let's. I know I should have rehearsed it more though. I couldn't say I. Well, no, you're right. That's fair. You can't rehearse the thing you just came up with on the fly, can you? The one thing that they don't like on their fields too much in the NFL though are Negroes kneeling for the end to police abuse. They don't like that, or afros, or nipples. They don't like nipples. They don't like nipples. They don't like nipples on their foot. They don't like kneeling, and they don't like nipples. And if you kneel or you do nipples, then it's going to be some issues for you. And they don't like. Okay, so they don't like. All right, wait. Hold on. They don't like black kneeling or life affirming and life producing nipples. They don't want. The NFL does not want any of that on their field because that would be offensive. It's Tebow time. Hey, so also remember, you know, the thing he's most famous for, the Jackson shot is the one where he did the thing to Jan. That when that happened, the thing was happening. The Super Duper Bowl was happening on a Clear Channel, which was CBS, and at the time, Clear Channel had really through a lot of lowering any kind of regulations, gotten its claws in all kinds of shit, and owned just about every radio station in the world, including those that would feature Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson, who were performing together here. So this was going to be a boon because Janet was having a record that was about to come out, and so it was going to make a lot of sense. Well, Clear Channel, and in particular CBS, the president was Les Moonves. Les Moonves, when the nipple came out, when the black nipple came out, not the white nipple, not such a big deal here, but when the nipple came out, Les Moonves had an hysterical fit. Everybody lost their minds. And that's the reason that we know the phrase nip slip. That's why we know a wardrobe malfunction. If you've ever said either one of those about anything, one, shame on you, and two, that's where it came from. There were legislations around censorship on television that they were calling the Janet Jackson bill. Janet Jackson, for those who don't remember, did not rip the bustier off of her chest. And in fact, they weren't singing a Janet Jackson song when that happened. They were singing a Justin Timberlake song in which he said, "Gonna have naked by the end of this song," and ripped her thing open and put her titty all out there. And even Chris Rock came with his hot take that that's not her titty to put out there. Fuck you. That's her titty. She can do with her titty whatever she wants to. You're the same motherfucker who said that there's good kinds of black people and bad kinds of black people and niggers. Fuck you from all of us. So Les Moonves didn't like it, seeing a black titty out, and seeing a sexual and a sexualized and a self-owned black titty, because even though if you watch the moment, it was very upsetting and she did not look happy. You could have still played it off like, oh, well, we did that on purpose. Well, evidently she was in tears, hiding. She left the stadium. She disappeared for days and said nothing to nobody. Meanwhile, Justin Timbo time showed up with his hair not black and with his black scent deep in his back pocket, and speaking like a white boy with little tears in his eyes, like he did when Ashton Kutcher punked him and Dax Shepard stepped on his guitar, and said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Les Moonves, president of CBS. I'm sorry." And then he got a McDonald's deal, and man, I'm loving it. He was loving it. Janet chose to apologize to her fans for all the kerfuffle that was happening. Again, it was to her thinking, if he did do it on accident and grab the part of the brassiere top that he was supposed to and expose her red bra and not the thing he wasn't and just rip her bra off of her breasticle, that then it was an oopsie. There's nothing to apologize for outside of the fact that if you found that shocking, I'm so sorry. P.S. I still have an album coming out. This is still my job. Les Moonves said, "I want a direct apology to my face and my ear holes." She said, "Go fuck yourself. Never going to happen. It was an accident." Les Moonves, who you'll remember, was the president of CBS. CBS was the parent company of the record label that Janet's record was on. Also was the head of Comcast, which controlled videos. Well, he had decided that they weren't going to do the publicity for Janet's record, and instead she ended up on a publicity tour apologizing for what happened at the Super Bowl and explaining why she didn't want to apologize for what happened at the Super Bowl, but not talking about a record and not performing any of the songs from it. Justin Timberlake, though, went on to become a movie star, and his record sales went back up again. Have naked by the end of this song. Les Moonves. Remember that name, because here's the thing about this guy that's so ironic. I don't know if you've ever seen this happen in conservative, right-wingy kind of proclamation of what is morally correct. Turns out that Les Moonves was abusing many, many women at CBS and at work, and ended up losing his job many years later. Like about 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago. So Les Moonves continued abusing people that whole 3 and 4 years, not 3 and 4 years, up until that 3 and 4 years ago, that whole many years, right? And again, was in charge of Clear Channel and CBS, and whether or not either of these albums was going to be seen in any video rotation. The album that you're trying to remember the name of, and you're thinking of, and you're like, yeah, I know that album. No, you don't. No, you don't. And the album is called Demita Joe. And while you're sitting there thinking to yourself, yeah, I bought that. What? No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, it was her lowest selling album ever. You did not. Sing your favorite Demita Joe album. Sing your favorite song from Demita Joe. Go ahead, right now. Here we go. I'll count off for you. 3, 2. I sing the love one then. Sing the love song. You don't know it because we never got to hear it, because Les Moonves was regulating the sexuality of black women. I don't give a damn what you do. Man, what the fuck? It really happened. It really is a moment in our history. So you will also remember from the actual performance that he, Justin Timberlake, was chasing her, Janet Jackson, across the stage. Gonna get away. Before he did have naked by the end of this song, in his best Michael Jackson black scent. Gonna have naked by the end of Chimona. So gross. So upsetting. Hey, Let's take a minute to pay tribute to some of the best moments in Timberlake history. Want to do that for a second? Uh, oh no, did we just lose our thing? I think we just lost our thing. Oh, this is depressing. We had a whole thing teed up for you of some of the most terriblest Justin Timberlake moments. I'm looking for that now. I would love to find it for you. There were so many. There were so many. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Beautiful. Let's talk about them. So first of all, let's deal with the fact that that is not what a feminist looks like. That is what a fake feminist looks like. Also, let's just deal with the thing real quick. Let's go back for 1 second. Yeah. I just dropped the script and dropped focus like I was the prime minister of Europe over there. I'm not. I'm focused. I know what I'm doing. I got all my notes. We got everything together. Joshua, Tracy, we worked really hard. It's professional. We're going to be doing it once a week. It's, once a week. This was much easier during the shutdown. All right, back to what we were saying. Hey, Justin Timberlake. Okay, let's get into it. Let's talk about 20 disgusting things that he did, in fact, do. We already know, and we are talking about the fact that he exposed Janet Jackson's nipple at the Super Bowl halftime show, a.k.a. Nipplegate. Let's also talk about the fact that he was later asked to perform at Super Bowl's halftime shows in the future. Meanwhile, Janet Jackson has never been invited back. Number 2, in that very same year when Janet was not allowed to attend the 2004 Grammy Awards unless she issued the public apology, Justin Timberlake not only attended but took away 2 awards that day. Number 3, when Justin was asked if he quote unquote fucked Britney Spears on a radio show, he boastfully responded with, "Okay, yeah, I did it." Number 4, when Justin released Crimea River, the music video that was obviously a response to his breakup with Britney Spears. P.S. Let's ask ourselves the musical question about that video. Why was he watching her shower? Really gross. Number 5, when Justin released his What Goes Around Comes Around music video about a girl, he was ready to give his name in quotations, and it resulted in her dying in a car crash, and their relationship ended. You know, very much like, what's his name? Eminem. You know what I mean? Tale as old as time. Girl, you got what you deserved. That's the line from his song. Tale as old as time, you got what you deserved. Number 6, Justin Timberlake was caught holding hands with his Palmer co-star, Alicia Wainwright, while Jessica Biel was pregnant with their second child. Boopsity boop boop. He blamed it on alcohol. Number 7, Justin released his pop single, Take Back the Night. Take Back the Night. Hey, if you were alive in the 90s, you may also know that this is the name of a prominent anti-rape organization. The line from the song that he shared with us then was, "They're going to try to shut us down, but I'll be damned if I'm going to let them. We going to take back the night." He later issued an apology saying that claiming that he had never heard of the organization and that, quote, neither his song nor its lyrics have any association with the organization. Oh, number 8, Justin Timberlake responded to Jesse Williams' speech about police brutality with, quote, "We are the human race. We are all the human race." Could not sound more all lives matter if you wanted to. This was in response to the speech that Williams was giving when he was responding for the BET Humanitarian Award, an award that, as we've discussed here, maybe he shouldn't have gotten, considering the fact that he does not pay for his child support. Shout out to Jesse Williams' baby mama. Number 9, when Justin imitated Rihanna's mother's accent as he accepted an AMA for Best Male Soul R&B Artist. Hey, P.S. Shout out to Rihanna for being named what was she named? Goddess of the DR? Something. So good. How cute is Rihanna's mom? She's so proud of this moment. Nobody is proud of Justin Timberlake for imitating with a black accent Rihanna's mom. Hey, number 10, Justin allegedly called out Prince in a song called Give It To Me with the lyrics, we missed you on the charts last week. Damn, that's right. You wasn't there. Now, if Sexy Never Left, then why is everybody on my shit? Don't hate me just because you ain't come up with it. This was in an alleged response to Justin Timberlake hearing Prince say of the title song, one of the songs of Justin Timberlake's Justified, Sexy Back, bringing sexy back, bringing sexy back. Prince stated, for whoever's claiming that they're bringing sexy back, sexy never left. Number 11, let's pick up the pace. Justin Timberlake accepted the Golden Globe for Best Original Song in a Motion Picture on Prince's behalf. And when he did that, he stooped lower, imitating the 5'2" stature in order to accept. Absolutely unnecessary and gross. Speaking of Prince, number 12, Justin Timberlake brought out a hologram of Prince during the Super Bowl halftime performance that he was allowed to do after the one that he was banned for. And Prince had said very clearly that this kind of holographic image was, in fact, demonic. 13, to add salt to the wound, Justin hosted his Man of the Woods listening party. He did it at Prince's Paisley Park, the creative sanctuary for the artist. Fuck you, Justin. Number 14, Justin Timberlake dedicated his hashtag times up hashtag why I wear black IG post to his quote unquote hot wife. That's right. Here we come. Time's up. And damn, my wife is hot. In case you needed a refresher, the Time's Up moment and movement was everybody wearing black to the Emmys one year to stand in solidarity with survivors of sexual assault. Number 15, Justin kissed Jessica Simpson to win a bet. It was a bet with Ryan Gosling. I knew Justin Timberlake very well, said Jessica Simpson. After my divorce, he was out of a relationship. He was over at my house. We were sharing a nostalgic kiss, and I thought to myself, oh, this is interesting. But then he took out his phone and he started typing. Apparently, he and Ryan Gosling had a bet to see who would kiss me when they were 12 years old. So he texted Ryan to say that he'd won the bet. Number 16, when Justin kept cutting SZA off when she was answering a question directly to Ellen, and when he cut her off, did so using his black accent. What you doing to him, sis? Number 17, Justin Timberlake came out of pocket to comment on having his cake and eating it too. He said this while he was working on a project with Woody Allen. Random question, can someone please explain to me? You just want your cake and eat it too. What else am I supposed to do with cake? Dylan Farrow, stepdaughter of Woody Allen, who was the victim of sexual assault and sexual predation, snapped back, clapped back, and you can read her tweet on the Twitter. So gross. Number 18, Justin Timberlake shaded Vegas residencies in general after Britney Spears announced hers, saying, quote, you're planning for retirement. You know what I mean? Hey, that, of course, did not match the energy he brought when it was announced that Usher would be opening his residency. Number 19, when Justin was inducting Madonna into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it felt like he needed to say this in the speech, quote, the world has always been full of these Madonna wannabes. I might have even dated a couple. Whew. And number 20. Let's not forget the infamous interview with Barbara Walters, when Barbara asked him, "Did you and Brittany save yourself for marriage?" To which Justin said, "Yeah, sure." And the question remained on everybody's lips. Did Justin Timberlake actually was he the one who cheated and broke up with her? Here's Michael Jackson's Thriller on its anniversary of its release, and all of what was released with the Kraken right behind it. Congratulations to the ghost of Michael Jackson, to the PTSD of his victims, to all of the boy bands who imitated everything that he did, and including Justin Timberlake. And a special shout out to Janet Jackson, who we celebrate now on every year at the Super Bowl, and proclamation of National Janet Jackson Day on that day. Janet Jackson, sister of Michael Jackson, who again still denies that he abused the many, many, many children that he did. Listen, you're watching this because you wanted to. This is kind of your fault too. Okay, I'm just want to be clear. Hey, this has been another Smoke and Mirrors. Thank you for joining us on Butch Los's Fun Time Fun Corner. Oh boy, it's so fun here. If you like what we do and you'd like to see more of it, well, hey, have a look at it. It's we have links to each one of the shows and descriptions on Instagram at IG at Smoke and Mirrors CCB. That is Comedy Culture and Blackness. We also have a Twitter account. Well, I do, and that's Twitter at Caballo Negrito. Twitter at Caballo Negrito. For the monolingual amongst us, Caballo Negrito translates literally into white chocolate is not chocolate. Caballo Negrito, which translates directly to white chocolate is not chocolate. If you have a thought, a question, a query, or a suggestion about a guest who should be here on Smoke and Mirrors either in the next couple of weeks or in 2023, please reach out at smokeandmirrors@gmail.com. And I guess that means that we have now done a show. Hey, take care of yourself. Please take care of each other. Go ahead and go get yourself a vaccine. Go get a vaccine. It doesn't matter what kind. Go get you one. Go get a rubella vaccine. And remember, for real, get a flu vaccine, please. And get a booster. Get a booster, because there's variants out there. And know that we love you. Okay, bye-bye.